I'm Louise. This is Jason.
Hi.
I am a singer-songwriter, musician, producer, and so is he, and mixer and mastering engineer. So you win.
And bodybuilder.
And bodybuilder, yeah, you win. You win this round. I'm here to talk about a song on my album. It's called I Don't Feel It Like I Used to. And this song is out now, and it's the first song I wrote for this record, actually. I wrote this song in the spring of 2020 before shit hit the fan, and it was sort of about moving on from something. For me, when you sort of go through something challenging and you have a moment of clarity and realize like, oh, I actually don't care about that thing anymore. That's a really fun moment in time. So this song is a little bit about that. That's why it kind of sounds, it's not really sad. It's almost triumphant, I guess you could say. And of course, this is when I wasn't sure if I was going to write a more country influenced record or something totally electronic. So it's kind of walking on both sides of the train tracks, if you know what I mean. And I like to call this song my sort of country trip hop fusion moment. And yeah, it started out on my computer as it always does. And I really, really loved this weird accidental hum I did for the intro. I thought that was a really great direction to take for the rest of the song. And what I mean by that is I really wanted this to be a sample-based song, even though it was sort of a country traditional standard arrangement. So this is just me in my apartment. You can probably hear, traffic if you were really to break down that file. It's very poorly recorded, very last minute, kind of my favorite word, janky, but I also kind of love that about it. It's really not trying to do anything other than just, be a vibe. So that really, for me, dictated the rest of the song. So what I did to build the song up is I had my drummer come in, and funny pandemic story, not funny at the time though. Eric Breitenbach, who's an amazing drummer. He's played live with me many times before, as well as my other band, Golden Youth. And I had him come by to track drums for this song in, I think, March or April 2020, or maybe even the spring. I think it was like late spring. And he shows up. I think I picked him up, or he took a cab, or somehow he got here. He's got a lot of drums and they're massive. So it's no small feat to get his drums from point A to point B, especially for a studio session. So he gets here, he starts setting up in the live room. And when I say here at 604 Studios, and he starts setting up his drums in the live room. And I go into the control room and I get a text message, and it's from a woman that also just shot some photos for me. And she said, oh shit, I just got a COVID exposure from a person at work. I don't know if I have it, but like, it was really during the times where that was still really intense. Like if somebody you knew got COVID, or somebody knew of somebody who got COVID, you had to be really careful. So protocol at the time was that I had to isolate. So I had to text Eric, who was in the control room, through a window, be like, you have to go. I'm so sorry. Like I need to go home and isolate because I may or may not have been exposed. And it was like, really chaotic times and really stressful and such a waste of a day. But it ended up working out okay because Eric, his sweet mom came to pick him up. She came with her car out of town and to like help him, which was so sweet of her. And he took his drums back to his studio, and then he has his own studio and recorded drums for me on his own. So he sent me over the files a couple of days later, and then I had all these drum files to choose from and went over them and created different samples and a loop from them, really, which I can kind of play now. And for me, I really just wanted to get the kind of shuffle, not the shuffle, but the kind of the kind of shuffle feel to it. It's not actually a technical shuffle, but kind of like the groove, right? It was really important to me that it sounded groovy, yet artificial, like looped. So that was really fun for me to play with. I've never done that intentionally before. It's usually just out of laziness that I have a loop going. And this was a first let's make a trip hop. Like, let's lean in, man. And I just built it up from there and sang vocals on the beautiful Manley reference cardioid mic, which is a beautiful microphone, which Jason now owns as well.
Oh yeah, as soon as I heard your vocals on that. I ran out and bought it.
It's a beautiful mic.
I've been using it for all the projects now.
Yeah, shout out to Manly. We are big fans of Manly, and the vocal sounds just, I mean, it's so pure, and I'm not really into usually hearing my voice so well, but this microphone just made it sound really good. And shout out to Karl, Dicaire, for recording the vocals that day. Great engineering sesh. And yeah, it was really just kind of came together. And the guitars on this song were done by Darcy Hancock. He's done guitars on most of the record, as well as Jason. And Darcy's amazing. He's been playing with me for a really long time now. And he came into the studio to do these guitars. And they're a combo of acoustic and electric. And he did an amazing job. They're so great. And I had this sort of demoed guitar solo that I did. And I hate playing guitar. I'm not a guitar player, so I always have somebody else do it for me. But I will demo kind of what I want and let people riff from there. So I had this solo, and it was like, dun, 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 dun. And then Darcy tracked it. And then, I don't know, I think I sent it to Jonathan, my manager, the head of my label as well. And he's like, I don't know, something sounds really familiar about that guitar solo. And I thought to myself, yeah, what did I do here? And turns out I basically like almost completely ripped off a guitar solo from like some band like Chicago or Yes or something. And I doom, 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 doom. I forget what song it is now, which is driving me nuts. But it's a huge song. We all know it. And I just was like, yeah, I got to go back and track that again. That's not okay. So I went back to the studio, I think the next day or the next week, and I retracked the solo myself because I didn't want to ask Darcy to come back. It was so annoying for him to have to do. And yeah, I still, when I hear that, I think of how that was really dumb but funny. And yeah, that's pretty much it about this little tune. And Jason mixed the shit out of it.
As I try.
As I try to do.
As he tries to mix the shit out of these songs.
And you succeed.
I like the propulsive beat of it, like when you were talking about the sample, the drum beat. It's just something that kind of keeps moving through the whole song. And keeps energy up. It's exciting. And and the guitar parts are fantastic. They have this rustic feel to them, but they're a nice hook. It's a great song.
Oh, bless you. Thank you very much. And you know what? I got to say, having a Rhodes, every song could benefit from having a Rhodes in it. And I had quite a few hidden roads in this one.
Many roads lead to good song.
Many roads have it. No, it doesn't make sense. Oh, it was Boston. It was okay. The guitar solo I accidentally ripped off was Boston.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. What? Oh, is it Owner of a Lonely Heart or something?
No.
That's not that. That's
no,
not Boston.
Owner of a Lonely Heart is Yes.
Right. It's in that sort of dad rock genre, which is always in the back of my head. So, whoops. Big fan.
Yeah,
no, I don't actually know much
about
Boston.
More Than the Feeling record that
right.
Whatever that one's called.
Right. I mean, it's great. And here I have a little sample called Cowboy Congas. So. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so right there, that's also a Jason Corbett special. We had some overcompressed, kind of like super destructo drums, they're called, in the mix, but Jason identified that as being a really good situation and brought it up, made it even more crazy, and made it dominant in the mix at the very end of the song to make it just much more tasty, man.
Just a little sonic dust to elevate the excitement of the outro of the song.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh, exciting. And here's the Cowboy Congas, which I have to know what that is now. Cowboy Congas. There you go. You got to have some congas.
It's groovy.
Or some bongos. It is groovy. And then what's this? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you know what? That pretty much covers it. It's my country trip hop experiment. I hope you like it, Mom.